So let me try and make sense of this in 2 minutes. I don't know, I've been here all day. I always enjoy being at Innotribe. I also went to the plenary. Who went to the plenary? Just show your hands. Who went to the plenary? The contrast between the plenary and here couldn't be bigger. And it's probably a different profile of people. It's also a different atmosphere. I always get terribly depressed the moment that I walk into Sibos in the morning and I see all these people dressed the same, in the same dark suits. And I'm always reminded of the movie The Matrix, where you have the Agent Smiths all of a sudden multiplying. And for me, Sibos has always been Agent Smiths, but thousands. I think there are, how many, 8,000 people here? We have 8,000 Agent Smiths here at Sibos, and they go to the plenary. But the people who go to Innotribe are a little bit different. Actually, I got into the fight at the plenary with the woman who actually assigned me a seat. And she said, "We have to follow a system, sir." And I thought there couldn't be a more beautiful metaphor for the fact that the people in the plenary actually like to follow a system. And what we try to do here at Innotribe is get a little bit outside of that. But once I was in the plenary, the one thing that I started thinking about, because the beginning really wasn't that interesting, was the fact that Sibos attracts 8,000 people. And if you do a quick calculation, that's about a combined salary of about $2 billion. And what's at stake is maybe not the future of their bank, but certainly the preservation of $2 billion in salary. And we have to be serious about this. That is the core thing that keeps everybody awake at night. Am I going to keep our job? And we've seen an amazing group of startups here today, an amazing group of technologies. And I think there's one conclusion for me: it's not about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is completely irrelevant in this discussion. But the blockchain is very real. And I think the fundamental thing you have to worry about, and I like the discussion about, is, are the banks going to go away? The banks are not going to go away. I mean, we've seen this throughout history. But I think what is fundamentally going to change is the cost structure of these technologies is fundamentally different. And what it means that the margin structures that we have in financial services are going to be completely overturned in the next couple of years. And the big question of a bank is not, am I going to survive? But am I going to be able to survive in a completely different margin pattern than what you're used to in the past? And I can tell you, we have built banks as huge institutions with an enormous amounts of bureaucracy and hierarchy. And if this technology is going to change our margin structure, think about this. Are you capable of being fast and nimble enough and lean enough to survive in a market like this? I don't want to depress you at the end of a wonderful day like today, but I think it is a little bit of a wake-up call. I mean, if you look at Ethereum, Vitalik is an amazing guy. You know how old he is? He's 20 years old. What you may or may not know is he is one of the recipients of the Peter Thiel Foundation. And Peter Thiel is one of the legendary people in Silicon Valley who is now giving money to talented people to drop out of college and start a business, because he doesn't believe in college anymore. And most of our banks are still hiring people who followed the system and went to school like everybody else. Vitalik is not like that. He's 20 years old. He's a recipient of Peter Thiel, who really believes in fundamental disruption. But what is scary now is that we didn't touch upon this, but the venture capital industry is really interested in disruption. Gottfried, CEO of Swift, in his keynote, talked about disruption. And he basically said, not that bad. Yeah? Look, we're still all here. But if you look at it, I think we're just at the beginning. The VC industry, Silicon Valley is being changed overnight. Silicon Valley used to be about building new tech companies. It's not about that anymore. They are funding companies that disrupt entire markets. Airbnb and the PayPals and the Ubers of this world. But do you know how much money Uber got? Uber got $1.2 billion in venture capital. $1.2 billion. Now, that's not a lot to you banks, but I'll give you some numbers. You know how much venture capital Microsoft got? $1 million. That's it. Do you know how much venture capital Amazon got? $10 million. Do you know how much venture capital Google got? $45 million. Last century, we talked about the VC industry investing millions all of a sudden, we now see that Silicon Valley VCs are investing billions. And I can tell you, you don't have to be worried, but you should be. The next competitor could be a 27-year-old kid with a hoodie. So my suggestion for tomorrow, if we come back here, ditch the suit, wear a hoodie tomorrow, and enjoy Innotribe for day 2. Thank you.